While we're waiting for Dr. Quirk Bailey, I'm going to shift the agenda a little bit. We did not have any questions that came in today for today's town hall. So what we wanted to do was to share some announcements before we opened it up for Q&A. So David Cook, I'd like you to talk about the status of the SESI program. Have any questions? While we're waiting for Dr. Quirk Bailey, I'm going to shift the agenda a little bit. We did not have any questions that came in today.
We are
for today's town hall.
1
what
week
we wanted
away
to do was to share some announcements before we opened it up for
Spring 21
Q&A.
administration.
So David Cook, I'd like you to talk about the status of the SESI program.
And I want to extend my thanks to, in particular, our faculty members who've done extra work in letting your students know.
We did not have any questions that came in today.
We are
for today's town hall.
1 week
away
to
do was to share some announcements
closing
before we
special wording on your Blackboard course sites. It's helped a great deal. We've had, since the last time we spoke, at the last All College update, we've more than doubled the response that we had at that time. So we're well over 300 responses right now, which is fantastic. So my thanks to everyone who helped out with that, and I would just ask that, hey, let's continue this this great trend we've seen over the last week or so, and keep talking it up, and remind your students also that there's a nice a nice slate of Amazon gift cards available. We'll have a random drawing for everybody who has completed the SESI before the cutoff date on the 30th. Top prize is a $250 Amazon gift card, but we've also got 4 $100 gift cards, for $50 gift cards, and then half a dozen more $25 gift cards. So lots to go around, and hopefully that helps us finish this administration strong. So that's it for right now. Thank you very much. Any questions at all, you or your students can email me at dcook@icc.edu. Thanks.
Thanks, David. We appreciate you going first while we worked out a technical issue, so very much appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. I wanted to share a couple of good news items before we move on to a couple of other announcements. And then, as always, in the town hall, we're primarily here to take your questions and answer anything you'd like us to address. So just some good news we want to share all around. So first, as you are probably aware, we've had an election that has happened since we've gotten together last. So I wanted to tell you about our 2 new board members. They are Dr. Betsy Barhorst, and you probably remember Betsy as her time as a faculty member and administrator previously at ICC. She has retired and returned home, and we're happy to welcome her to our board of trustees. Another familiar name you are probably familiar with if you've been here a while is Cindy Bird, who is a previous employee of ICC in numerous functions before she moved on to be a faculty member at Robert Morris, and she is joining our board. So welcome to Dr. Barhorst and to Cindy Bird, and we'll be looking forward to working with them over the next 6 years. Some other good news was brought to us by our students and our team, which is the Pi Beta Lambda. I want to make sure I didn't mix that up, who competed in the state finals this month. So we had 2 students who earned 3rd place, a student who earned a 2nd place finish, and 4 students who earned 1st place, as well as ICC being recognized for having the largest local chapter and winning 1st place in the state. You know, that's really important. Thank you to the faculty and student activities who supported this team to keep that big a team engaged during COVID is just remarkable. So hats off to you. We also have some recent successes with our Collegiate Farm Bureau and Ag Business Club at the Professional Agricultural Student State and National Conferences. Students competed against other community colleges and universities in each event. Every student who placed 1st or 2nd at the state qualified for the national competition. So ICC students earned in the job interview contest, individual students, we had 1 4th, 1 3rd, and 5 1st places. I'm sorry, 5 second places and 9 first place awards. In soil specialty team, as a team, they earned second place. The precision ag specialty team earned a second place. Crops specialty team earned second place. The overall livestock specialty team earned first place, with 2 ICC students tying for first place in individual awards. The beef team overall earned second place. The sheep specialty team, first place. The swine specialty team, first place. Again, with 2 ICC students or 3 IC students in a 3-way tie for first place. And the overall livestock specialty team in first place. Those coaches and advisors were Pete Vandell, Blake Lehman, and Grant Grebner. So congratulations to them. And in case you haven't been paying attention to women's basketball, it has been a roller coaster of a season. We lost in the sectionals, not qualifying for the national finals. Then we're notified that we were actually an at-large school who could go to finals after some other teams, due to COVID reasons, couldn't travel to national finals. And last night, the women's basketball team beat the first place seed. So our female women's basketball Cougars are in the Final Four. So we're very excited. They play at 8 o'clock Central Time tonight. So wish them all good luck. And then in a final national result, our women's volleyball team took 4th in the nation, which is absolutely amazing. And our hats off to the women volleyball team and their coach, Tracy. So want to move on now. Our next set of announcements is from Kim Armstrong, who's going to tell you about some time changes for our upcoming campus updates and town halls. Kim?
Hi, good afternoon. Happy Friday, everyone. I think many of you have already received the updated invitation in the calendar already, but I just wanted to point out that for the months of June and July, while we were on a summer schedule on Fridays, we have moved, we didn't cancel the all campus updates or town halls. We think it's important to keep these communications going, especially as things unroll over the summer, right? We don't know what the next 6 months, 3 months look like. Not sure we even know what the next 30 days look like some days when it comes to what we're dealing with in the pandemic. So we did move these up to 1 o'clock. So you should see invitations for the second Friday in June and in July for the all campus update. And then for the 4th Friday for the town hall that would follow. So we'll go back to we will communicate in July what the schedule will be for August and going forward. So right now we're not expecting any changes, but we'll work that out the closer we get. If we need to communicate more, if we have more information to share, we certainly will make these available more frequently. Thank you, Dr. Quirk-Bailey.
Thank you, Kim. And then for our last announcement, we're going to call on Michelle Lucas, who's going to walk us through the summer schedule again. And from her, we'll open it up for questions, just in case there are questions stemming from her presentation. So take it away, Michelle.
Thank you, Dr. Quirk-Bailey. Unfortunately, my camera is not working today, so I will just be available here through audio. As you might have read in the all employee email announcements, the college will be observing the Summer Flexible Workweek program. That is a program where ICC will close at 2 p.m. on all of the Fridays in June and all of the Fridays in July. We would ask that you would work through your department supervisor on how you intend to schedule your Summer Flexible Workweek program, and there is a standard operating procedure on ICCNet that describes the Summer Flexible Workweek program. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask them now, or if you would like to ask them later, certainly you can contact me or anyone in HR. The HR email address is hr@icc.edu. Thank you.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions.
Email address is hr@icc.edu. Thank you.
Just so you know, I know I joined late, so Kim may have shared this previously, but we did not have any pre-submitted questions for this town hall. But obviously are here to answer any questions from those of you who are with us live. But we did not have any pre-submitted questions for this town hall.
Are there any, we do have one, thank you very much. Are there any updates for food service offerings for the fall? Bruce, you knew you were not going to get by without a question. Are there any, we do have one, thank you very much. Are there any
Yes,
updates
we're
for
actually
food service offerings for the fall?
looking into that. Now we have a recommendation that we're talking to the board about actually next week. So we know we need to ramp up and offer some things. We have been piloting some different market type things for folks that are on campus, and we're going to continue to extend those through the summer. And if we need to, as we have more people on campus, we need to provide more options, we'll do that. But we're going to present an option to the board on Thursday. So we'll have a little bit more to share probably next week. As we have more people on campus, we need to provide more options, we'll do that. But we're going to present an option to the board on Thursday.
Another question regarding food service.
Probably next week.
Will we be opening the cafeteria in the summer?
The plan is not to have it in the summer, so we would have just the vending type options available in the summer.
Thank you.
The plan is not.
And another question from Brad Rose. What will the students do between courses in the fall with the increased in-person presence? And
Actually, we're looking at that too, and the team has been discussing that on a kind of an ongoing basis and really anticipating. We're looking at what the schedule looks like, and then we would open more common areas up. So for instance, the cafeteria in both locations, Peoria or East Peoria, the bigger areas, we can, additional, we might have to do some spacing with tables, those types of things, but making more common spaces available, and depending on the distancing requirements at that time, might kind of dictate how many chairs and different things that we do, but we'll be responding accordingly. But really encouraging, I think we talked about this before, and not the hanging out in the hallway kind of thing, but if you have that time, if you can go to the library or some of those bigger spaces where you have a little bit more room, that's what we're going to encourage the students to be waiting before they go to the next class or in transition points. To the library or some of those bigger spaces where you have a little bit more room, that's what we're going to encourage the students to.
Michelle, I'm going to give this to you. Will vacation pay be required for the summer schedule, or can employees use no pay for the shortened schedule? Michelle, I'm going to give this to you. Will vacation pay be required for the summer schedule, or can
we generally like for employees to use vacation pay if they have it. However, again, all of those details are referenced in the standard operating procedure. And ultimately you would need to work through with your manager on your time off and how that would work. But again, the intent is that if you're not going to work the extra hours through the week, that you would use whatever available vacation you have first. And how that would work. But
thank you very much. And Sandy Eric asked, if departments are working on a Friday past 2 p.m., do we need to notify security? Thank you very much.
No, we'll have security presence is on campus, so that would not be a problem. It is always good if you are in after hours, just to notify, or if you let to the supervisor so we know where people are on campus. That's always a good thing, especially if you're outside of the normal kind of operating hours. But we will have a campus police presence on both campuses during that time.
Thank you. And Bruce, I'll let you take this one as well. Does the college have any plans to survey faculty and staff who worked in person during the pandemic in advance of our scaled up face-to-face presence in the fall? For example, what worked and what still needs work or resources? Thank you, James. Worked in person during the pandemic in advance of our scale.
I think that's an excellent, any way we can get feedback back to and through our committee or through the COVID response. I think that's a very helpful thing to do to continue to say, what do we need? And we're always querying that. We talked about that for employees as well as faculty. Do you have the right technology? What is available? How did that work for you? So we're always open to that. We don't have a formalized process to do a survey at this point, but I think that may be a good idea, again, to always get a query as to what's working and touch base with the employees. So that might be a good idea, James. So I think that's a good thought. Always get a query as to
And Bruce, another one goes your way. Are there plans to improve the Wi-Fi for students and faculty in both campuses, East Peoria and Peoria? Actually, I should say all three campuses, if need be.
Yes, absolutely. And actually that has been in process, and we've been upgrading those during this time off. That's one thing that we can do, is put some additional points of contact. We actually have in the East Peoria campus completed one of our projects to extend Wi-Fi into the courtyard. So if people are out in the courtyard area, they have the ability to access Wi-Fi. So that's an ongoing process to where we'll continue to monitor, because that's going to be more and more important as we go forward, and especially have folks that are remote and using technology in the classroom. We're going to have to make sure we have that coverage. So that coverage has been expanded, and we'll continue to monitor that. So as always, if there's any concerns when you're on campus, report those back through the help desk, service desk, and we'll check it out. But we are expanding that and continue to test the quality of the Wi-Fi around campus.
Thank you. Dr. Quirk-Bailey, I'm going to give you this one. Will students be required to show the vaccination proof for face-to-face lectures or labs?
At this point, we do not have a plan to do that, and let me explain why. Legally, if we were to require proof of vaccine for someone to attend classes at ICC, we would have to do that for all available vaccines. We would have to keep those records, and we would be legally responsible to verify all of that. We feel, as the other community colleges in the state do, that that just might be a step too far. You might have seen in the Chronicle that the first state system that said they would require it is California. But California had previously required that students show proof of vaccinations to attend. After we did a 4-hour seminar on this as the Council of Presidents in Illinois with a law firm who believe it or not has a specialty in this area. And so I don't think any of the community colleges, or for that matter, the universities that I'm aware of, are going to require proof of vaccinations just because of how the law works and what the requirements would be if we did that. So thank you for that question.
Thank you. Michelle asked, could we possibly set aside some unused classrooms as waiting areas?
Absolutely. I think that's something that's being considered too, and we're looking to where their courses and classes are scheduled. We did a little bit of that over in AIT, and I think we could do that in some of the other areas. So it's a very good suggestion. That's something that the team is looking at, kind of dependent again upon where classes are scheduled and where the student flow is. But that's a good option. And we also talked about that, having options available in some of the smaller classrooms for faculty if they had to meet with a student, or if it's a smaller group type meeting, to make that available.
Jill, I'm going to let you answer this one. Will the library be open during the summer?
Right now, we're still working out the opening date of the library, as we are with other things. So we'll let you know as soon as we know.
Thank you. And Pia's got a follow-up regarding Wi-Fi. So
right now, we're still
the question is, can students bring their laptops and use them in the classroom and labs with no problems? I'm assuming that's all part of your upgrade.
Absolutely. I think that's our thought, especially we're requiring more, and we're basically establishing and encouraging students to have a laptop. So we want to make sure that we have the capacity to support that. So the answer is yes. And again, that's where the testing of that and what we're going to do with the tech team over the summer too, is continue to test the strength and reliability of that Wi-Fi. So absolutely, that would be, that is our future. That's our current state, let alone our future state. Right? So important to support that. Absolutely.
Thank you. Corinne asks, and I'll take this one, as we host more on-campus open houses, we had our first one last night, for those of you who weren't aware. We had about 125 students and their families attend an outside event last night at the East Peoria campus. We've got a second one happening on the Peoria campus, which hasn't been done before. It will also be outside. It's Tuesday from 3 to 7. And yes, so Corinne asks, as we host more on-campus open houses, there'll be an opportunity to have career cluster specific days that typically happen in the fall. Actually, you're reading our mind. Admissions marketing are working together to develop a plan for June, understanding that that's not our typical open house time. However, we think about the success that we had in summer of 2019 with the Ready to Work open house that we pulled together, I believe, in 3 weeks. And that was in no small part due to the faculty of AIT and workforce development working together to bring resources to campus, knowing how important those programs are. So more to come fairly soon, but right now the plan is that we are looking to do some back-to-back open houses that will be cluster specific, as well as a general undecided one. Those are, it's the largest portion of our students when they enter. And secondly, it's when we've did the open house last night, and for the open house scheduled for Tuesday, undecided general studies is the area that has had the most people register. So we will do something. The plan right now is to do something, and I just told you more to come, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So the plan is to do something for general studies, something for AIT, and something for health careers. So that's where we are right now. General studies meaning not just transfer programs, just like I said, general studies. So more to come soon. And something for health careers. So that's where we are right now. And there's more. And Dr. Swaim answered a question that came in about online anytime and online scheduled and hybrid. So Professor Flex asked that there's 2 options, online anytime and online scheduled. We have sections where we'll have a lecture online and lab in person. So we want to make sure that if they can be listed as hybrid, to make that happen. So more to come. Chuck's going to investigate that, and I would assume get back. Chuck, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I appreciate bringing that up. And the reason I also really want to emphasize it for everyone is, yes, if you see some, what I think it sounds like some anomalies in how the schedule is being presented, please let me or a respective dean know so that we can work with Stacy Gehrig and her team, because you have to keep in mind, we are actually rolling out, we are using CourseDog now to do schedule edits. And there is always a possibility that, maybe there is a software issue that we aren't aware of. And so we'll be investigating that, because it may be something where CourseDog hasn't talked properly to PeopleSoft. It may not be that, it may be an input error, but yeah, please let us know. We're super sensitive about those right now.
And I'll take the next one. So James asked, how's summer enrollment compared to last year at this time? I have good news to share, which we haven't had that statement, been able to use that statement for a while. As of this morning, and I'm pulling it up so that I'm exact, on undergraduate hours, we're up 18% to where we were a year ago. And when you add early college in, we're averaging about almost 19% up to where we were a year ago. Now, that sounds great. I'm excited to announce an up number, but I want everybody to remember that we ended up at summer last year starting 20% down. So at this point last year, we were in the middle of the first 30-day lockdown. People really didn't know what they were going to do. So we ended up 2020 summer 20% down compared to 19. So my unofficial goal for a team is that we end up 20% up going into 2021 or something close to that. That will help us, that will bring us back to where we were in 19. So if we come in anywhere close to that, I consider that a win, especially when you read the research that's coming out that is continuing to tell us the community colleges are going to struggle. I'd like to be the exception to that rule. So we are excited about what summer looks like at this point. At this point, we are 35% away from meeting our Census Day goal. So more to come. We're about just over 30 days from summer, from the majority of summer classes starting. So thanks for the question. Evelyn may be, I'm not sure, the favorite employee who is asking, are shortened summer hours mandatory or optional based on the departments? So I'm not sure. The favorite employee. Michelle, you want to answer that?
Happy to. So it is not mandatory. That is something that can be worked out within the department and should be. So that would be my recommendation.
Michelle, you want want to answer that?
Happy to. So it is not mandatory. That is something that can be worked out within the department and should be. So that would be my
Anything
recommendation.
else that we haven't covered today?
Happy to. So it is not mandatory. That is something that can be worked out.
I'm going to put a plug in one more time for the open house on the Peoria campus next week. Going to be 77 degrees. Right now, we've got over 100 attendees registered, and we expect our attendance to be probably slightly down from what the East Peoria campus has, because that's where students and families have traditionally gone. But we're trying something new to expand our reach. We expect our attendance to be probably slightly down from what the East Peoria. And I'll plug David. If you have not reminded your students to take the SESI survey, please do so. Trying something new to expand our reach. Dr. Quirk-Bailey, I'll turn it over to you.
Very good. Thanks, everyone. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. It's supposed to be a little rainy tomorrow, but beautiful on Sunday. So I hopefully you can get out and enjoy that. Very good. Have a great weekend. Thanks, everyone. I hope everyone has a wonderful
You too.
weekend. It's supposed to be a little rainy tomorrow, but beautiful on Sunday. So I hopefully you can get out and enjoy that. Have a great weekend. Thanks, everyone. I hope everyone has a wonderful
You too.
weekend.